Bro Science Breakdown.
Fun fact, taking BCAAs are incredibly important to gain muscle mass. If you believe this, allow me to debunk that for you. Welcome to Bro Science Breakdown, where I discuss healthy living for my fellow young folks every Monday. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Arthur, an early high school grad who struggled with my self-image for a long time. If you're tuning in from YouTube, you can see that I finally have my camera on. No clue why I felt the need to address that. Anyways, I was eventually able to overcome my struggles, and I might be able to help you with yours as well. So, if you're around 18, then you've come to the right place. This is episode 5, and today, I'll cover supplements that'll give you that little edge in the gym. Pause. If you'd like, I can go more in-depth about any topic mentioned in this episode, just give me the word. And by the way, this is not an endorsement of anything unnatural like SARMs or anabolic steroids. I'll actually be discussing why you should avoid them later in this episode, so heads up for that. Now I got that out of the way, let's first talk about a supplement you might already be taking. Protein powder. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. This is a supplement, as it's supposed to supplement your diet rather than replace a proper meal. Moreover, the FDA classifies protein powder as a dietary supplement, so there's that. If you tuned into the second episode of this show, which I highly suggest listening to by the way, I covered 2 types of protein powders, whey protein and soy protein. Well, guess what? There are a lot more options for you to choose from than just those 2. From animal-based powders like beef protein and egg white protein, to plant-based powders like pea protein and hemp protein. There's a lot of options on the market. There's even 2 different types of powder that come from cow milk, which are whey protein and casein protein. However, I'll just be referring to whey protein in this episode, as that's the most popular form of protein. Plus, the information overload makes my head hurt. Personally, I prefer to get my protein from whole foods like meats, lentils, and stuff like that, but protein powder has its benefits. The first and most popular reason why people buy protein powder is because of its convenience. I mean, come on. 1 scoop is about 25 grams of protein and 120 calories, which are amazing macros. Plus, if you have a blender, you can add almost whatever you want into it. You can make it triple C thick, as protein dense as you'd like, and put in different flavors. After hitting the gym, I usually throw in protein powder, fat-free milk because of the calories, a banana, some broccoli or spinach for that fiber and vitamins, and the PB Fit powder into a blender. That comes out to about 350 calories and 42 grams of protein. You don't taste the greens that much, and the macros are excellent. It's so convenient, honestly. Take this from someone who's on a cut and eating chicken and rice all the time. As much as I love eating this, which I really do mean by the way, it's a little difficult to get 170 grams of protein in from just eating chicken. Plus, my calorie budget of 2,400 calories a day can only allow me so much food, which means I have to turn to protein powder. That's not even mentioning how protein powder in some cases are cheaper options to get the protein quota in, which makes it investing in protein powder even more appealing. Overall, I suggest buying protein powder if you A. want a convenient source of protein, B. want to save money in the long run, or C. both. One of the best brands of whey protein is Nutricost. I personally consume this protein and I'll explain why. They sell their whey isolate on Amazon for about $60 and have between 60 to 69 servings in each container depending on the flavor, with each serving having 25 grams of protein. The unflavored one has the most servings. It may taste like powdered milk, though it's cost effective and it doesn't have any unnatural dyes if I remember correctly. Or you could just go for some other brand, your choice. But make sure you do your research though, because from my experience, some brands just taste like pure cheeks. Next up on the docket is creatine. Now to get this out of the way, creatine is not a steroid, and you won't lose your natty status by taking it. It's a misconception because creatine naturally occurs in our bodies and the food we eat, though it's a negligible amount. That's why taking creatine supplements allows the body to properly utilize creatine. Just like protein, there are many different forms of creatine, including creatine HCl and creatine ethyl ester. However, I'll only be covering creatine monohydrate. It's not only the best creatine in my very humble and intelligent opinion, it's also the most extensively studied form of creatine. Plus, it just so happens to be the most cost-effective source. So what is creatine if it's not a performing-enhancing drug or a steroid? Well, creatine allows the body to produce ATP, the body's main source of energy for important functions, at a faster rate. That basically means you have more energy for your set, you feel less fatigued after completing a set, You have a greater power output and have faster recovery time between sets. Plus, it allows you to gain more muscle mass when paired with working out. So, in short, it's a great addition to any moderate gym goer's diet. Think about it like overclocking your CPU, but the safe kind of overclocking. I personally take creatine every day, even when I'm not working out. I suggest doing the same because it not only retains muscle mass and strength, but it also has some side benefits as well. For example, creatine may boost brain health and can give you energy throughout the day. The daily recommended dose is about 5 grams, which is how much I take. Most brands are unflavored, so I take it with my morning coffee. At the moment, my favorite creatine monohydrate brand is Naked, which costs $35 for 200 servings. 200 days of creatine for $35. Tell me that's not a steal with a straight face. Yeah, you can't. It's literally so cheap. Hit me up if you find an even cheaper deal. I gotta min-max everything, you feel me? Besides the myth about creatine being an unnatural drug, there's a few more that I'll quickly cover. Myth 1. Creatine makes you look bloated. Nah, it keeps the water in the muscles. Because of that, you'll probably look more defined rather than bloated. Myth 2. Creatine leads to liver or kidney damage. Nope. Taking the recommended dose is safe for your kidney and liver. Myth 3. Women shouldn't take creatine. Nay. Men and women have the same benefits of creatine, and is low-key kinda sexist. And myth 4. Creatine leads to dehydration. 9. Studies have shown that creatine doesn't increase risk of dehydration, and may even decrease the risk. So spread the word, people. And then there's caffeine. Hot take. I think drinking coffee before workout is equal to or even better than drinking pre-workout. Yeah, I know. Pre-workout can have stuff like beta-alanine and L-citrulline to help you throughout the workout. I personally don't care about that stuff, as my focus is mostly on caffeine. Coffee may have less caffeine per serving, though an easy workaround is just to add more coffee. And as someone who used to take pre-workout all the time, my workouts feel a lot better when I drink coffee versus when I drank pre-workout. And I actually feel like an adult drinking my coffee black, not gonna lie. Seeing as I know what I put in my coffee, I don't have to worry about having weird crap in my drink. Plus, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. You can buy 2 Nescafe instant coffee jars that add up to about 210 cups of coffee, which costs about $20 on Amazon. Now mind you, there are probably less servings than marked on the jars, though I can tell you with full certainty it's cheaper than pre-workout. They cost between $20 to $40 and have only like 30 servings. I mean, there's Nutri-Cost pre-workout that costs like $35 with 60 servings, but it's still less cost effective than coffee. At the end of the day, the main component of pre-workout is caffeine, so I suggest switching to coffee unless you have issues with caffeine. In that case, if you want a natural source of energy without caffeine, then beet juice is totally the way to go. I know it sounds weird and gross, but a lot of people have hopped on beet juice recently due to its nitrate content. It basically increases blood flow and improves oxygen delivery to your muscles, which means your workout is overall more efficient. Better endurance, greater force output, less exhaustion, and great pump. Oh, am I not enough of a credible source to trust? Well, YouTuber Will Tennyson has also tried it, and he gave it a score of 10 out of 10. He tried beet juice on leg day, and his pump gave his legs an inch in circumference, from 25 inches to 26 inches. Well, I guess beet juice is a great alternative to coffee, something I'm interested in trying sometime actually. Honestly, I might like the taste of beet juice because I love beets. While we're on the topic of pre-workout supplements, I'd like to quickly mention salt. I had just a little bit of salt in my pre-workout coffee, and oh man, it helps a ton. I feel that I'm able to work out for longer, and that my breathing is less labored after completing a heavy set. That's because salt allows your body to retain water for better hydration, and improves blood flow throughout your workout. Also, seeing as how sodium is the primary electrolyte lost in sweat, it helps replenish your electrolytes. I mean, there's a reason why Gatorade tastes so salty, and it's not because the scientists ran out of sugar. But make sure you don't eat too much salt. Just a little bit is enough. No need to make it gross. Next supplement, ashwagandha. Now before you guys start a flame war in the comments, hear me out on this one. It's not one of those fake supplements you see being chilled on TikTok. Ashwagandha has a ton of backing from its extensive scientific research, and the benefits of taking it are really good in my opinion. When it comes to gym performance, this supplement has got you covered. First, it increases your VO2 max, which basically means your endurance is enhanced. Ashwagandha also increases power output and speed of your body. Not gonna lie, this is starting to sound like a power scaling thing, but stay with me. Moreover, it speeds up the recovery process for your muscles and decreases the sore feeling you get after working out. It's basically like Goku training in the time chamber, but in supplement form. But that's not all. There are some really good benefits ashwagandha can provide outside the gym. It helps with your stress and anxiety by lowering cortisol levels, which can also influence and improve test levels. I personally deal with anxiety issues, and something like ashwagandha is therefore beneficial if you're someone like me. Another great benefit of ashwagandha is that it improves your quality of sleep and helps you fall asleep faster. Sleep is such an important factor of physical health, yet many people forget to take care of that part. Increasing the quality of your sleep allows your body to recover better from exercise, which then leads to more gains down the road. It's like a GTA San Andreas cheat code for life. If you start taking ashwagandha daily and don't see much change after a few weeks, it's normal. I started taking 600 milligrams of ashwagandha daily 3 weeks ago, and I haven't seen that much change. That's because the effects of ashwagandha start taking into effect after about 4 to 8 weeks of daily use, and are even more pronounced if you take it for longer. Basically, time is the name of the game. There's no need to be impatient about seeing improvements. It's not like one of those get abs quick in 30 seconds. Remember how I mentioned BCAAs in the beginning of the episode? Well, I think they have their use. There was this one old dude who trained at the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu studio I used to go to. Between sparring sessions, he would drink from this shaker bottle that had BCAAs. That's because they blunt feelings of fatigue from intense exercise, like working out, or in the older dude's case, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I say that as use cases for something like leg day recovery or to keep the older population active. But that's basically it in terms of usefulness, not gonna lie. The guy I mentioned was in his 80s doing jiu-jitsu, which means us younger guys aren't gonna benefit as much from drinking that stuff. And plus, I don't think the average lifter will be training to the point of debilitating pain, leg day excluded. Some people may bring up their supposed muscle building properties, but they're pretty inefficient at that as well. BCAAs, or branched chain amino acids, are 3 of the 9 essential amino acids that the body cannot naturally produce, and therefore has to get from outside sources. Given how all 9 can be found in protein-rich foods like eggs and soy products, I think it's better to get enough protein in rather than turning to something like BCAAs or essential amino acids. Not gonna lie, the Earth devs basically put in an insufficient muscle building item when you've got the whole foods right there. It's like using a spoon to dig a hole when you have a shovel right next to you. I mean, it works, but it's not the smartest thing. Finally, let's talk about the juiced up elephant in the room, steroids and SARMs. Besides their medical use, I think the only good use case for steroids is to become an IFBB pro bodybuilder. And you must seriously dedicate yourself to that path, as in have a strict diet and a professional coach to help you on your journey. Even then, some people just don't have the proper genetics to go pro or don't react that much from steroids. With that aside, just keep your natty card. Not gonna lie, there's seriously no good reason to put yourself in harm's way just to get more muscle. And for what? There's a whole laundry list of issues associated with taking steroids and SARMs. They both cause long-term liver issues, increase the risk of cardiovascular issues, create a massive hormone imbalances, and give you a ton of acne. Just looking at the eruption of steroid-induced acne on the back and chest gives me goosebumps. If you've ever popped a back pimple, then you know what I mean. They're so painful, I can't imagine having to deal with an army of those on my back. To be honest, I actually considered taking anabolics just to get massive like someone like Sam Sulek. I didn't put that much thought into how I'd deal with the side effects, thinking they'd be not that bad. That was until I heard Dr. Mike Isertel's experiences with taking anabolics. To be honest, as much as the physical side effects scared me, the mental side effects made me even more scared. First, there was the anxiety. Dr. Mike said that he woke up in the morning afraid of the rest of his day when he was on higher doses of steroids. Then there were the issues that came along with having an increase in testosterone. If you're a guy, Imagine having 25 times the amount of normal testosterone. Think of the thoughts that could potentially cross your mind. In Dr. Mike's case, he had extremely violent thoughts, which were occurring frequently as well. This is not even mentioning his lack of emotions or cognitive decline. If Dr. Mike, someone with a PhD, is noticeably becoming less intelligent, imagine what someone like you or I would experience. Just some food for thought. Oh man, that was heavy, not gonna lie. In short, stay natty and stay happy. Thanks for listening all the way through. It means a lot. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Please like, subscribe, comment, whatever to boost engagement, as that really helps the show. In the next episode, I'll discuss exercises you don't need to do. This is Arthur, signing off.